Hi and welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you today. So get cozy. We're going to have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather around my table. Now today's pick a card topic is actually coming from the comment section and a suggestion from the comment section. So thank you to the subscriber who dropped this comment, who asked for this reading. And today's topic is all about a person on your mind and how do they truly feel about you versus a third party. So we're going to do a bit of a comparison reading today. We do have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1 with the Art of Seduction and the red flower. Pile number 2 with the white flower and day and night. Pile number 3 with Mermaid's Love and the green flower. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there could be messages waiting from your spirit team today, and my timestamps are always listed below. I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Again, today's topic is all about the person on your mind. How are they feeling for you versus how do they feel for other people in their life, a third party in their life specifically. Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the big red flower. You are also drawn here to the Art of Seduction, and this is your reading. How does this person feel about you versus the third party? You can see this person sitting in a very tall top hat. I always think of complacency with the top hat or status. And then we have this person whispering sweet nothings in their ear. So they're also wearing a bow tie, which Spirit's really drawing my attention to. You can see there's a bunch of red roses, which you were drawn to, which can be a symbol of empowerment. So there's something very empowering about the attraction that this person feels from you, that they use for their empowerment, even if they are being a little bit complacent. So let's start here. We're going to take a look first at their current feelings for the third party. We're going to do them on this side, and we're going to do your energy on the right. So let's take a look here at their current feelings towards the third party. Putting a little bit of a trigger warning on this. Queen of Swords. Empress energy. This Empress is giving me a lot of motherhood energy, so this person could have children. We have the Devil. Back of the deck, they're showing me the Knight of Swords and the Moon. Lots of Capricorn, lots of Cancer energy. Here is the Three of Pentacles. Here is the Queen of Cups reversed, supporting the Queen of Swords. The Hermit and the Sun. I do feel like this couple has, and I feel like they could be a couple right this moment. It does feel as though they've been through a lot of major themes together. Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. Back of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Hanged Man. There's that Page of Cups. So they're really referencing here, they're not denying that these two energies have been through a lot together. And I feel like this person, though, at this point in time in this connection, feels more like one of the kids than they do a partner in the connection itself. I feel like they think that the Divine Feminine wears the pants here. And I can't say that there isn't respect for this person. I feel like they value the opinion of this Divine Feminine, but she sort of takes the lead. And this makes this person sometimes feel insecure, makes them feel like they're kind of a bystander in their own life, or they're not making the decisions, or they're being treated like a child sometimes, because there is motherhood associated with the Queen of Cups and with the Empress, and I feel like they could have children together, which is part of the reality of what has glued them together, because I feel like that's part of the cement. But they can't deny that sometimes they don't feel very supported, and they feel smothered in this situation with this connection. But I also feel like they surrender to it because there's a lot of dependency, codependency. Maybe they rely on each other as far as their careers. Maybe they rely on each other because of children. But there's a lot of dependency that exists in this connection as well. And so the reality is that they sometimes feel vulnerable. And the reality is that they're very focused on children in this connection. So this Art of Seduction, it's number 14. They find this attraction perhaps towards you very empowering, but maybe they feel like now's not the time to explore it because of the dynamics of responsibilities, despite the fact that the Three of Pentacles is reversed with the Queen of Cups, because again, they may be feeling like they're building a life here, but they also don't necessarily feel like they are the main voice. They don't feel like they're the head of the household, so to speak. Because sometimes you'll see somebody who does feel like they're part of the head of household, but they are happy to allow the other partner to be the neck that turns the head in whatever direction she chooses. But in this case, this person doesn't feel like they're the head of the household. I do feel like they sometimes consider themselves a little bit stuck because of children. But of course, that's just a scapegoat to their own fear and their own vulnerability, because they actually have freedom of choice. But they sometimes feel like they get treated like a child in the dynamics of this connection. How do they feel about the third party, please? And then it's almost like they have this idea of like, what can I do? My hands are tied. But the crown is all lit up, which means their higher self is giving them solutions, trying to inspire them with solutions on what to do to feel unstuck. And as I said, I don't feel like there's a lack of genuine respect here towards their partner, for instance. I do think that they think that this person is a good person. They think that they're smart. They think that they're a good parent, which is a really important aspect. But I can't deny that they also may have felt like they've kind of learned what they can learn here. Like there's nothing new to learn. There's nothing new for us to learn about each other. We already know all the stories. And sometimes they feel a little bit smothered by it. We have pineapple reconciliation. Now, this almost feels like the energy with you could be that type of reconciliation, because the pineapple is all about sort of the past, but also swinging energy. We have wind chimes, peace and harmony. And they don't create change because they're maintaining that. Because it's not a life without abundance. I just feel like it feels emotionally a little bit stifling. It says you should accept valid criticism. And we can't deny that the Queen of Swords can sometimes have a pretty sharp tongue when she has an opinion and she's motivated by leadership. So they sometimes feel criticized in this connection. They sometimes get inspirations from their higher self about how to deal with that criticism, but they sometimes keep themselves hidden or keep their own voice sort of below the surface so that they don't have to deal with that, to maintain that peace and harmony. We have strong emotions, passionate love or hate. And we have March on the back of the deck. Now they're showing Lily of the Valley. And Lily of the Valley smells beautiful. It almost smells like a lilac, only more intense. It's such a beautiful scent, but the truth is it's poisonous. So it's like there are appearances that can be deceiving, or there's like a mix between good and bad. And I feel like when things are good, they're very, very good. But now I'm hearing that poem, but when things are bad, they are horrid. So if we fight, it's a pretty big row, for instance, here. Now let's take a comparison to how they are currently feeling about you in this connection, please. How do they currently feel about pile number 1? In comparison to the third party. King of Materials, King of Pentacles. And you'll notice it almost looks like a keyhole, looks like a big long bridge that somebody's walking in. Perhaps thinking that you're the key to more abundance or more empowerment in the very least. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the Strength. Lots of Leo energy coming through here. And they're poking out 6 of Cups. We need to pull that. Let's pull that out. This does feel like this could be in separation for you, pile 1. At the very least, maybe it does feel like a physical and emotional separation. And I just got the sense, I just heard the song, I'm leaving on a jet plane, and the line that says, and I don't know if I'll get back there again, or something along those lines. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the Temperance. 14 of the Temperance. Here's the Tower. And because they perhaps have physical commitments that they're dealing with in this moment, this person's very nostalgic about you, pile 1. Very nostalgic about you. You could have gone to school with this person or come of age with this person. They think about you in terms of innocence, but now we've grown, we've matured. It's like now there's the opportunity or the desire to break that innocence. And they have so much regret over choices that they made or decisions that they made in regards to this connection. And although they may be complacent in communication at this time, that's very deceiving because you're still influencing them. Even if there's no connection or communication at this moment, you are still a heavy influence. You're still seducing them from wherever you are. And despite no communication, because they keep highlighting now, again, the bow around their neck, this person thinks so highly of you. So highly, but they know that there's so much to lose. And that's why they aren't taking the action now. That's why they don't know if they can go back again. Perhaps there's a huge sort of physical separation here as well, because they did highlight the airplane or the jet plane. That doesn't have to resonate with everyone. I am reading for the collective. But here, this back of deck, here at the Tower, the Six of Wands, you are the inspiration that gives them confidence. You are the inspiration that makes them feel more abundant. And they do feel like they have to keep this below the surface of things. They have to keep this suppressed. They have to turn their back on how they truly feel because of everything that they've included themselves in over here. But they do consider, they have had fantasies about reconciliation. They have had fantasies about being able to maintain exploration here while perhaps maintaining their responsibility to maintain peace and harmony on the other side. But they just have so much regret over, and let's ask that. What do they have regret over? What is this Five of Cups, please? I shoulda, coulda, woulda, Spirit says. I waited too long. I didn't take action when I should have. Maybe this was a friendship and should have evolved into more. It's like they have so many regrets about what they did not do, what they let themselves stop. Like they stopped themselves because of their own insecurity, and they really thought that they had more time. And now some of their regret comes in because of position, because they don't have the same sort of foibles as they did in the past. They don't have the concern about maybe they're being rejected. They've matured. They're more confident in themselves. But what they now recognize is that the obstacles have shifted into something practical. And that's what happens when we kind of leave our hurdles behind us. We try to avoid them. We're just dragging them forward. And eventually they're going to represent in some different form, but they're still going to come for us in some way. Because now the same restrictions that held them back in the past are not there anymore. If they were afraid to act because you were just friends and they weren't sure what was waiting for them, they would take that risk today. But now the complications are bigger or more solid, involve other people, require independence. There's this reference to them thinking about wishing that they could have lowered inhibitions, or, you know, the two of you got drunk or something, and maybe in the past you did, wishing that they had said something. Because they're saying things would have turned out very, very differently. And there's a sense of like, they don't necessarily feel like they were not destined necessarily to be here, because there's perhaps children involved and they've built a lot here. But they also can't deny the opportunity that presented to them here. A strong emphasis on Aquarius, Libra, Gemini coming through here on the back of the deck for someone watching, but also a strong emphasis on Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo as well. So please take that as it resonates. Now they just feel like they're alone in this, or they feel like there's nothing they can do. You're always on their mind. But right along with that inspiration comes this question from their spirit guides, you know, what do you need to release? How do they truly feel, please, about pile number 1? A change for the better and victory in some affair. And they do feel like if they had given themselves the chance to kind of be wild and free, they're showing the wild rose. If they got a chance to be single, because it's a singular wild rose, that they would feel more victorious in life, that they would feel more confident about the position that they're in if they had followed this pathway. They also feel like they have changed for the better. They feel like they have grown and matured as well. But you are still an obstacle to overcome. It's like as much as I've grown, as much as I have the career that I want, maybe the family that I want, this is still something that's been waiting for me. This is still an obstacle. And we have seeking out information that will help you, because ultimately that's the thing that's been missing, is the clarity between the two of you. And part of them still feels like they need that. They could even be telling themselves that because they want closure in the future, or because they truly don't want closure in the future. Let's get some message cards. What are they currently thinking and feeling, please, towards pile number 1? The idea of you still empowers them. You drive me crazy. I want to see you again because I know that I did not follow my heart. I didn't realize I loved you until it was too late. And I just saw the card, I dream of being reckless. Oops. I miss you regardless of how things look in my outside world. And I wish that I could have a new beginning. I know I've made my bed and now I have to lie in it, is on the back of that deck. Now we're going to ask Spirit a specific question. Is this person going to communicate with you again? Because this is in separation, we're going to ask this little aside question, please, Spirit. What can they expect in the future of this attraction or this connection? 2 of Wands with Ace of Wands, 7 of Swords. I feel like this person's going to hold back for now because of the challenges that exist. I feel like they are too focused on the challenges and not focused enough on the solutions. That's what the 5 of Cups is calling for. Whenever they get thoughts of you, it's actually asking them to find solutions to this rumination so that they don't have to sit in it forever. But they're not quite ready to find solutions yet. So Spirit says that might reflect in their actions towards you. Let's get a charm bowl, please. What was the last thought this person had about pile number 1 in the charm bowl using the teeny tiny tarot? We have Death, sitting in a state of limbo, 9 of Wands, 5 of Swords. It's like the precipice of change was always sitting there. It's like we held ourselves back because we were waiting for a burst of confidence. Maybe that didn't come. It's like our ego was always sitting there ready and waiting with an excuse why we shouldn't act. And that's happening today as well. I also feel like sometimes they deny to themselves or other people about how this still influences them. They minimize it in the very least. We have Electricity. I always think of blondes with the Barbie guitar. We have here somebody who thought that they were keeping secrets. Here's the curled shell, but it has a big hole in it. I don't think they were keeping the secret as well as they thought that they were. We have Direction, and we have Once Upon a Time. It's so nostalgic. Feeling like this, like it's like a fairy tale, or it plays out like a fairy tale, except we didn't get our happy ending. We have here the High Priestess sitting upon information we know to be true about the connection, and we have sweet results that await with self-sacrifice. So somebody who's working for the good of the hive. Pile 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Please drop your comment below for your chance to win a free tarot reading with me. If you are a subscriber, I do offer a chance to win a free tarot reading, and all you have to do is drop your comment below and hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. And I do that as a way of gratitude to thank you for your presence here. So if you're new to the channel, we invite you to our beautiful soul family by subscribing to the channel and dropping your comment below. So be sure to do that. I also offer I also offer private readings, and that Etsy link is below as well, and I do update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the beautiful white flower, and you were drawn to day and night, and this is your reading. How does this person feel about you versus any third party in their life at this time? Now, the day and night card reminds me of comparison, of like balancing forces within us. The way that her hair is with the sort of half buns going up makes me think about a taboo desire, somebody who is afraid that what they want is not appropriate. They could be comparing their partner with you, for instance, or some type of dynamic like that. They're also referencing trying to manifest change, wishing that they could take the mask off as well. And she's holding like the sun in her hands. It's like holding the clarity in her hands. You were drawn to the white flower, which is very revealing, and it's talking about the full spectrum. So let's start with how they feel about the third party. We're going to start with them on the left-hand side. And we're going to spend a little bit more time on your end, on the right-hand side. But to start with the third party, how do they currently feel about the third party? We have the Hierophant. It's coming in sideways. We're going to put it upright just for ease of space, but we will remember that it came in a state of limbo, which I feel like is important. This could be like an official marriage, for instance. Kind of represents institutions. And it's really referencing how not a lot, like it's very predictable. I feel like the connection that they're in. Things don't really shift or change. Things are very predictable in that environment. And what they don't realize is that I feel like their person or their partner also kind of feels a little bit curious about what the future holds, or curious about, you know, stagnation here. Because now here's the Chariot again coming in sideways. I feel like I'll just leave that one like that. We have the Five of Swords. Here we have the Nine of Wands. We have the Devil poking out as well. Lots of Taurus, lots of Cancer energy. And here's the Two of Swords. Justice and the Five of Pentacles. What's really kind of telling here is that I feel like if this person is feeling frustrated or dissatisfied in this connection, I think that they're kind of denying or ignoring the fact that their partner may feel the exact same way. We are all mirrors of each other, and it's foolish for us to assume that we're feeling apathetic or bored or frustrated and our partner is blissfully unaware or blissfully happy amidst that. So I do feel as though there is an acknowledgement that nothing has really changed in a really long time. I don't think that things are bad. I don't even think that we fight. I just think that maybe we need to fight. Maybe we need to show a little bit more passion or a little bit more focus on togetherness. It's because I feel like as much as things are sort of at ease there, I also feel like there's not a lot of passion that exists. I also don't even feel like they do things together. I don't feel like they travel together. I just don't feel like they do things together. Now there's this reference here to the Fool, and there's actually a common ground with pile number one because they're referencing relationships, education, government, marriage. Like they're referencing institutions that they kind of are a part of. They're also referencing perhaps children with the Fool as well. And I do get this reference to, like, we could have had a child to try to shake things up in the relationship or to try to save the relationship or try to make it better. They could have had a child in order to do that. But again, I don't feel like much has really moved. But even with the expansion of the Three of Wands, even when we think about expanding, there's a weight because we don't want to deal with the conflict. We don't want to deal with the hurdle. So we just stay sort of complacent because maybe there's a lot of like financial coupling. Like I feel like everything's been integrated. We have maybe a joint bank account and everything's been integrated. All of our lives, both of our extended families, they all know each other. Like there's just a lot of practical things that they feel like are getting in the way of expansion for themselves. Because what's interesting is that when we are dealing with other people and commitment cycles, we're supposed to feel like we're a part of something, and this person still feels kind of alone. But they try to ignore that feeling. Ten of Swords, but there's a depletion here. It's like here's the Magician, there's the Chariot now with the Justice, but the Chariot's in a sideways position supporting the Hanged Man, and we're surrendering to a lack of movement. We may still be feeling emotionally pulled in different directions, which making us feel depleted, and we're surrendering to the depletion so that we don't have to deal with any conflict or any upheaval. But sometimes it's worth it. It's worth it to create a little bit of chaos so that we can get into something more elevated. But they're worried about like financial obstacles, financial disruption as well. Here's the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like they tried to ignore their disappointment. They've tried to ignore the helplessness that they feel because they feel like it's like their responsibility. It's like they're giving up their emotional satisfaction for, I don't even feel like it's for the good of anyone, but they're giving that up. But that's what Spirit, wants to shine a light on, a new perspective of the fact that this person thinks that they're alone in this, but I feel like their partner is right on the same page of feeling like things are not transitioning, things are not passionate. lots of responsibility, and maybe we've given into that responsibility and we try to stop the truth from seeing us. He's got blinders on the horse, so it's like oncoming traffic won't spook us. Because there's also something very predictable, very steady about this environment. And that can be a comfort zone. It doesn't have to be very abundant to still be comfortable. And so I feel like they're very comfortable with each other, but it doesn't even feel like there's a lot of, I don't think there's any real passion. In fact, I think that's one of the main areas of conflict here. Here's the Magician, and we have the Page of Swords with the Queen of Wands. And I will say that they're not sure if they can achieve that in this connection at this point. They're not sure if they can achieve a sense of empowerment in this realm anymore. And the truth is, it's not even a conflict between them and another person. It's actually a conflict between themselves and their higher self. Because they have a decision to make here about the reality and the truth. And that's what true integrity is walking in truth. Not trying to maintain some type of balance, but walking in truth. Now let's take a look here on the other side. How do they currently truly feel, please, for pile number 2? We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Hermit. We have the Ten of Wands. And they're carrying a heavy, heavy burden of passion when it comes to your energy. And they just said that it was in stillness that they came to like this revelation. It was in the lack of movement here where the truth of their attraction came for you. But they feel like, again, they have to carefully calculate how they feel here because they're stuck, so they know they have to walk away in order to achieve what they actually want. And that means taking their masks off and maybe going for something that they shouldn't want, going for someone that they shouldn't want. Here's the Moon, because what you represent is the desire. They even wonder if it's spiritual love here. But they know that the reality is that they have to release something in order to get it. But here's the Empress energy. And it does feel like a huge apples and oranges comparison. You were drawn to the Day and Night card. She's wearing a mask. And in keeping and maintaining that mask, she's turning her back on the crescent moon, on her higher self. So it feels like a comparison between apples and oranges, between abundance and desire on this end and sort of, again, lack of momentum here, because there's the Ten of Swords, and this is the conflict. They want to perhaps expand here, but they feel helpless, and until they deal with this helplessness over here, they can't come up with any solutions. Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords. Back of deck, the King of Cups. And when we compare the two energies between the back of decks, very, very different energies. This person could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but that's less important than the emotion that the King of Cups represents, because he's the most emotional of all the kings. And he's the king that's willing to admit love. So this person may have told themselves that they love you, but they feel guilty. There's a competition for their focus, and they feel like it's not appropriate, or they can't, or they shouldn't, and they don't know how. But the truth is they do know how, because they've already been given that solution, but now they're like grounding themselves with fear and saying, well, now's not the time. I need to wait. I need to wait for more preparedness. Here is the King of Swords. But the truth is they're only waiting to kind of guard themselves from that conflict that they don't want to really face. This is sort of an over-emotional response to pain, obsession, exhaustion, for carrying such a heavy load of inspiration and desire in this connection. On the floor. This almost rolled away. It says happiness. And it looks like it's sitting on a branch with cherry blossoms, of like exploring happiness, thinking that they could achieve it here in this connection. We have a goal-oriented person, and you are the target. You would be the goal. Cupid's arrow perhaps coming in unexpectedly here. Arrow, you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. And again, thinking that this is the target, you're the target, happiness belongs here. This is the direction. But we have here beetle, good fortune, and we have horseshoe, good luck, but it's coming in reversed because of financial worries. Not expressing how I truly feel because of financial worries. Wondering if you're my person, but I know I need to release over here. But it says great worry over nothing, because at the end of the day, we often will lament and really overthink and have anxiety about our worst possible case scenario, and not often does our worst case scenario come to fruition. We have dark woman, dealing in a relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. I also feel like this person is a little bit older. Like what they want to forge more abundance. They want commitment cycles perhaps here. It says you'll be receiving a precious gift, the diamond. But they feel a lot of pressure and they are under a lot of pressure in order to forge that diamond on this side of the board. But there's an energy of like an age gap here for someone watching. How do they truly feel about pile number 2, please? We have no. It's like they can't have it. Or they feel bad for it. Just let me have you. That's the 7 of Swords, so it's in a secret way. It doesn't necessarily even feel like this is a no contact. You could see this person. You act as the inspiration. Let me hold you. Again, secrecy. I sometimes wonder if you care. And I also just saw words do hurt. So the two of you could have had like an exchange where they felt like you said something that kind of hurt them or bothered them. Because the truth is, you matter. I lay awake thinking about my future, and I'm sorry if I can't implement that change today. So this person could be a very sort of real part of your life here. Back of the deck says, what do you want? I also saw, I'm too afraid to talk to you. Seek professional advice. And I meant what I said. And that's like the 5 of Swords. And ultimately, when we seek professional advice, they could be worried about legal matters, for instance, and seeking advice about legalities and money. But they're also referencing the higher self. And then who comes in and tries to disrupt the 5 of Swords, the ego, trying to keep them complicit, keep them complacent, and keep them waiting for expansion. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 2, please. What was the last thought they had about pile number 2? Their truest feelings in the bowl with a teeny tiny tarot. Out of the bowl twice. We have the 2 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups reversed, and the Fool. Now, there's this reference to like how the 2 of Pentacles and the Fool fell out of the bowl. And here the 9 of Cups reversed was the only one in the bowl. And there is a certain amount of greed that comes in with the 9 of Cups reversed. There's a sense of like, I want it now. I don't want to have to wait. I want it now, but I know I have to wait because of risk, but I don't want to let go of hope. But there's like this, they're struggling with selfishness. We have here, weakness is a choice. We have T and K as initials in the bowl. We also have the anchor. And feeling not prepared to remove those anchors or to take the risks outside of those anchors, which would actually clear them with this key. It would unlock the prison that they've invented for themselves. We do have the hospital, could be a hospital nursing connection, an illness, a sickness of that nature. We also have a silver dollar here from the Calgary Stampede. It says Pete Knight, so Pete could be an important name for you, but also that I think of the Knight of Pentacles. You can see that it's somebody who's calf roping. So there's a reference of kind of getting roped into something or feeling stuck within their position, but they put themselves in that competition. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it resonates with you, please be sure to drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. I do offer a chance to win a free reading for my subscribers as a thank you for your presence here. And just drop your comment below any of my readings this month for your chance to win, and be sure to hit your notification bell. If you have dropped comments in the past, be sure to check your notifications because I am waiting back to hear from one of my most recent winners. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I update that shop daily. But please come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage. I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the green flower and to the mermaid's love, and this is your reading. How do they feel about you versus third party in their life? Now, the mermaid's love has a couple of different meanings. Within the guidebook of this deck, it does speak about somebody that holds down the fort. It's like 2 different personalities, one person that's very pragmatic and practical, and a dreamer that we help to kind of hold back down to the ground. The mermaid is also a symbol of temptation. And, you know, the song of the mermaid will lure the sailors into the water. So this person perhaps feels tempted by you, feels like they want to be lured into the water, and they are wearing this big top hat. On the top of the top hat is a little bird, which is my symbol of like news that hasn't come in yet. So maybe they've been complacent about communicating with you or telling you how they truly feel. But there's also this like fantasy and dream associated with the connection. So let's take a look. I also just heard the term evergreen. So this could be referencing sort of the dynamic and how everything will always sort of maintain. This person's feelings aren't going to go anywhere. So let's start with, how do they feel about the third party on the left-hand side? How do they currently feel, please, about the third party? We always put a little bit of a trigger warning before these readings. Spirit will always give you information that they feel like could be useful for you for further reflection. We have here the Innocence of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. We have the Three of Swords coming in reversed. The Four of Cups. Also the Hanged Man showing itself. Can we clarify, please, the Page of Pentacles? Now, I'm reading for the collective, so I have a lot of different energies that are floating in. Queen of Swords. I get the impression that sometimes these people make really good partners. Like, it almost feels like a business partnership. It's like we make really good partners, we're good partners. But I also feel like for someone watching, and this is not going to resonate with everyone, but you may have details that this will resonate with you. It almost feels like somebody who suffered a loss together. So they may have suffered a loss from a family member or someone really close to their connection somehow. It's like they've worked through a lot of grief together. And so they've shared in some type of loss, or they've shared in some type of helplessness. They could have also shared in obstacles in their life where they're now trying to recover what was gained. It's like they're in recovery mode right now. They're still in healing mode within their relationship. We have the Five of Swords, and it almost feels like a bit of a, for someone watching, again, if you're not resonating with the message that they suffered a physical loss together, the other message that's coming through here is that they're in recovery mode because they themselves, within the dynamics of their connection, have struggled in some way. Whether that be because there has been conflict or obstacles in connection with other people that have kind of infiltrated their relationship. There's an awareness now of the Queen of Swords, and she's like she's in recovery mode. She's trying to, honestly, it almost feels like she's trying to avoid losing something material. So it's like they're in a healing mode, they're in a recovery mode right this moment. I feel like sometimes in this connection, when we are disappointed with each other, there's a lot of silent treatment, or like there's just this reference to being self-serving, silent treatment, gaslighting. And the silent treatment could be coming in from this Queen of Swords. That seems to be almost a weapon. A weapon that she uses when she's in recovery mode. And that's the problem with the recovery mode that they're attempting right now, because the truth is we can't move through into a place of hopefulness and forgiveness until we address our own, the ways in which we get in our own way, the way that we gaslight our partners sometimes when we don't want to give them the benefit of being right. It's like sometimes we'll do that to each other and we won't prioritize the relationship, we'll prioritize our own ego. And that's what's happening in the dynamics of this recovery mode, is that we're either giving each other the silent treatment, or we're denying that we played any role in this loss in the first place. And that just kind of leaves us perpetually stuck. It's kind of like, because they're showing like your boots stuck in really thick mud, and you work really, really hard to get this boot out, and it's finally out, but now you have to plant that boot again back in the mud to get the other foot out. And in the process of doing that, you're sticking your foot back in the mud. We can't deny that we don't see, like we have the Four of Cups here, but that, as far as a loving card goes, it feels like more of a, again, it feels like it's moved more into like a friendship than it has moved into a romantic partnership. On the floor we have here the Queen of Pentacles coming in sideways. There's a stubborn quality to this queen. She could be an air sign, she could be an earth sign. It doesn't really matter. It's really about what she's representing here on this board here, because here's now the King of Pentacles. And again, a stubbornness that could be matched between two people. Here's the Temperance. Because I feel like there's an acknowledgement between these two people that we're maintaining this balance, but the balance that we're maintaining is almost acting as a tug of war within us. It's like this person may not be, the third party may not be motivated by togetherness and wholeness. They may be motivated by loss of material things, loss of material position, getting knocked down off of a pedestal in their position. I feel like the third party on this end also kind of gets reactive when they feel overlooked or ignored, and they felt like that in the past. We can't deny that sometimes the Page of Pentacles here, you can see the mom and dad buffalo, and here's the baby buffalo. This reference to maybe children playing a factor here too. And the truth is, even if children aren't a factor, they're saying that the way that this divine feminine Queen of Swords is reacting in this third party, you know, the defensiveness, is a result of their own vulnerability that they're feeling right now in this connection. So perhaps vulnerable because of things that have happened between them. Maybe there's a reason for forgiveness that has to be in place right this moment. Because it almost feels like right this moment, the King of Pentacles is trying to apologize and she's not hearing it. She doesn't want to hear it. And it's because she's hurt. And letting the waves of emotion stop us from coming back together. Maybe this king has been tempted before. We have you are highly thought of. And we have July. And we also have here changes in our life. And they're highlighting secret compliments from an admirer. Now, this could be part of like a forgiveness cycle where we're bringing in flowers, for instance. They're talking about how more is going to be revealed in the context of July. Now, this could be a time frame. They could be dealing with Cancer energy coming through here. But they keep playing that song by Leon Bridges and Noah Cyrus. And in that song, it says, I've been losing my breath. I've been counting to 10 over something you said. And then the song continues to say, you know, you've been throwing back beers while I'm laying in bed. Like there's just a sense of being separated and being in conflict and how we're not understanding each other. So they're in like recovery mode in this present moment. I don't necessarily feel like this person on your mind has a really negative, they didn't start with a really negative opinion of this person, and they wouldn't be apologizing if they didn't think highly of them. But I also feel like if they're apologizing for something, more of those apologies might be required, or more might be revealed to them here in this connection in the future. We have in need of help, assistance, or guidance, and they could be seeking out therapy as well, especially if they are in a commitment cycle. Now let's take a look here in comparison to the other side. How are they currently feeling, please, about pile number 3? cause you to light you up a little bit more, pile 3. But for pile number 3, please, how are they currently feeling about pile number 3 in comparison? We have the Tower coming out. Here's the 3 of Cups coming in. There's a link towards the Tower and maybe what we've experienced over here, like the reasons why we have to apologize. Oh my goodness. There's a lot going on here, pile 3. And I want to group all of these cards together. But there's Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini was an escape artist. And he put himself in these predicaments because he knew he had the key. And then he had this time frame to kind of wrestle himself out of it. And so there's this reference to like learning something, a reference to an opportunity and education that has come in. And the truth is that I feel like this person has been caught off guard by their attraction. I don't think it was the plan to feel attracted. I think because there's a reality here that's kind of stings, but it's the reality. And the reality is that this triggers me, triggers expansion, triggers emotional new starts and love and peace in my heart. It like fills me up with more of a communion of that. But now we have to address this Hanged Man, and we have to address, you know, the prisons that I put myself in on purpose. We have to address the Tower energy. So it feels like this person has fallen for you, and they don't know what to do about it because they can't stop the descent. Here's the 7 of Wands coming in reverse. And a reference to the 7 of Wands in reverse, it's like recognizing the obstacles. Boundaries. Stalling because of boundaries. So the two of you could be in a relationship in this moment, for instance. I heard the term home run. Here's the Devil. Knight of Wands and the 3 of Swords. And we have the Page of Swords. I just heard the term, I've got a secret, I'm willing to keep it. We have here the Wheel of Fortune and the 4 of Pentacles. And there's the Page of Pentacles. And look at how this Page of Pentacles is contemplating opportunity, maybe hesitating, kicking this ball, which it kind of looks like, well, it reminds me of the 5 of Pentacles, of losing energies over here. I can't deny that the truth is that if they're in a physical connection with you, or you guys are dating or something, unbeknownst to this energy, I don't think it's going to be unbeknownst for long, or she's already watching like a hawk. There's already recovery. There's already apologies coming through. There's some gaslighting happening as well. So there could have been some conflict caused by this, or conflict that will be caused by this, that will be implementing in their connection in the future. They're referencing and they're saying that in this connection towards you, it was passion that drove them towards you, and it was falling for you that's kept them there. And I don't think they anticipated, even if the plan was just to be passionate, I don't think they anticipated the emotional war that's in between them. I don't think they anticipated being triggered by that. Because now the reality is that they want to surrender to the new emotional start, but they feel like it requires careful handling, and they have to be cautious with their approach. And that's why because of boundaries, they're stalling. They may continue to stall into the future. There's a lot of wishful thinking about what they want to achieve, but they're also referencing secrets in the dynamics of this connection. I think that they feel like the two of you could be twin flames. And sometimes we get drawn to the Devil here in a very physical way, kind of like a moth to a flame. And that's where they're concerned about Tower energies and not being able to take it back, feeling insecure about that and where the path leads. We have Carrot, opportunity or windfall. And again, maybe somebody's still holding down the fort, but the dreamer in this fantasy, the dreamer in this connection, could be you wanting more. They may be a little bit complacent or create some stalling energy. Because they do definitely feel like you are like the right person, wrong timing. It's like you're such a great turn of events in my life, and yet it feels like it's wrong timing. And the carrot is luring us. We have scales, trying to keep my life in balance and trying to maintain this commitment cycle perhaps with the exploration in this connection with you. But there's a very close mix here between the physical exploration with you and spiritual love that is developing. It's like renewing them. There's like a renewal of romance within them. It's like they're coming alive. It says money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. They could be waiting for that. They feel like they're under a lot of externalized pressure, maybe from your connection, coming from you. And it's like they're promising that things are going to change. Things will not be this way forever, but they are acknowledging major challenges to overcome in the mountain that they have already climbed or created for themselves. October, Libra being significant. And you represent lighthearted, carefree time. You're like a breath of fresh air. If it's hard work here, they get free of that. They get more immediate gratification with their emotions on this side of the board. Let's get some message cards to see what sort of thoughts they are having. What sort of feelings and thoughts do they have for pile number 3, please? You have given me that spark. And I've been focused on money because I'm trying to build for myself. I do want to make things right with you, but you have to give me the opportunity. You really are the best thing that has ever happened to me. But my nerves are getting the best of me. I do want us to be in a relationship. I've thought about having a family with you. So maybe you've discussed even more about the future. They know what they want. They just don't know if they have the strength to go for it. And it does feel like they're trying to recover or kind of take the spotlight off of obstacles in their current connection. I thought about surprising you with a date. And despite third party, I don't want to be with anyone else on the back of that deck. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. What is their last thought about pile number 3, please? 7 of Pentacles. There's like a paranoia that I feel like is coming in. It's creating a lot of resistance. They're paranoid about more being revealed, maybe over here. I feel like they're trying to play damage control over here. It's like they're afraid that more is going to be revealed. And there's a lot of paranoia about that. That's why you may not find that there's a lot of progress in this connection on this end, because it's like they're still in contemplation. It's like they're still watching to see what the outcome will be towards something before they start to work on progress again. Because they do feel like it requires careful, calculated steps to improve or to upgrade with your connection. Here is outdated thinking cassette, replaying events over and over and over in our mind. We do have here the horse. Always think about this horse having like a broom tail, so clearance before we take action. Empowerment. They do find a lot of empowerment with the physical connection with you. But here's the triangle, third party, and the risk with the Fool. We have Gemini, so making decisions between parties. But the truth is, it's not even necessarily a decision that they have to make between parties. It's about a decision they're making for themselves or about themselves. We have you versus you, and we have a wrench in our plan. And they may also be kind of denying or delaying action, because they may be saying that there's children or there's obstacles. Like they could just be kind of imploding themselves with all of these obstacles. But Spirit says, again, it trickles down to fear. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me, and hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen. Be sure to check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading as well. And I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.